Hello YouTube, Fuzz here, welcome back to Final Fantasy IX, and we're going for our perfect Excalibur II walkthrough once again, and we're going to be starting with the Ice Caverns in today's episode. So if you enjoy watching, don't forget to leave a like and be subscribed to the FuzzfingerGaming YouTube channel. Alright then guys, so the Ice Cavern is a bit of a fun place, although if you're not using the No Encounters toggle, which comes with the iOS, PC and Steam version, PS4 versions of the game, then this is going to be a little bit annoying because you're going to have to avoid the enemy encounters. So obviously you can get random enemy encounters anyway, but on top of that you'll also need to avoid the steam vents, which if touched while the steam's coming out, or the gas is coming out, will also spawn an encounter. If you are playing the game where you can't access the no encounters, then you don't really want to be fighting more than about one encounter per screen maximum. So if you do end up fighting more than that, then just, reload the game and try again. The other thing to point out as well, if you are going to fight random enemy encounters, make sure you flee from them so that you don't get any experience. So just use Zidane to cast his flee ability the moment the battle starts in order to get out of the fight as quickly as possible. But if you're using the option that I'm using, then none of that will be a big deal anyway, because you won't get the fights. So make sure you grab the chests in each room, since we are going for a completed walkthrough, of course. And some of them you will require Vivi to melt the walls, or the obstacles, or whatever the case may be that's blocking the chest that you want to get. So in this room, there's actually 3 chests. 2 which you can see here on the right hand side. Once you've got the first, use Vivi to, I guess, melt this pole or do something with it that gives you access to the bottom chest. So the third chest that I mentioned is going to be located just up in the top section here. We'll have to use Vivi once more. Alright, so let's move on to the next area then, where there's another 2 chests that we're going to want to grab before we actually proceed into an area where we actually get to save. Again, just watch out for these gases. If you've got the no encounters option on, you won't need to worry about them. But if you haven't, then you will. And there we have the final bit of treasure that we're going to be looting for today. So, next up we're going to head north out of this area. And then we're going to come to another fork in the road. And at this point we're going to take the left exit. And this is going to lead us into a room with a Moogle. So the Moogle is going to be frozen. But before we get to him, I recommend giving Zidane the leather wrist. And then optimising your other characters. And you do need to equip Steiner with his bird killer ability as well. Which I do in a minute. I forgot to do it at that particular moment. Okay, so poor Moist, the Moogle, was in a state of frozenness there. He gives us the next tutorial. And once again, as in the last episode, as soon as the option comes up, we're going to select nothing and quit out of the ATE. And back to our characters. At this point, just check the Mognet because we need to give a letter for him. Or a letter to him, rather. And then we're going to save. You don't have to save at this point. But hey, it's there, so we may as well do so. Okay, and now we're saved, and we're just going to head back out of this area. It's going to give Steiner that bird killer ability, which I did forget about. So simply back out the way that we originally came in. And then in the previous area where we took the left fork, we're going to now take the right fork. And then a cutscene is going to commence. Okay, so now that Zidane's woken up, we'll get control of him again. And you don't want to go back down here, although you can get the option to if you get too close. We just want to exit this area, and that's going to kick off another cutscene, followed by our next boss fight. A solo boss fight for Zidane. Alright then, so Zidane should have the Mage Masher equipped, as well, of course, as the leather shirt, which we gave him. You may have accidentally given him the silk shirt if you weren't paying attention. That's a bad idea because this boss casts fire, and you'll take double damage if you're wearing the silk shirt from the fire spell, which means you'll probably die. So despite the fact that we haven't leveled Zidane at all, and despite the fact that these bosses look quite imposing, if you follow this specific strategy I'm going to share with you, then not only will you be able to take them out, you'll also be able to steal the items that you need to steal. So the priority is to get rid of Black Waltz himself, and all we're going to do is attack him physically and then use a potion, and we're just going to alternate in that fashion until Black Waltz is dead. So attack him once, use a potion, attack him again, use a potion, and just continue that routine. I think it takes 3 hits, maybe 4. But anyway, eventually Black Waltz is going to fall. You don't need to steal from Black Waltz, so don't worry too much about that. Just keep following that pattern that I shared with you, regardless of what attacks come your way. Just do that attack, and then down that potion, rinse and repeat. So we just about faced the worst of the damage at that point, but even so we still managed to survive. So as I say, there's no need to break that routine. It would be very, very unlucky for you to die at this point. So this should be the final hit we need to take out the Black Waltz. There we go, so now we've just got to worry about the Sea Lion. And the first thing we need to do is steal. But we're kind of on a timer in this fight. We only want to steal until Zidane's trance bar's full. Because once his trance is active, we're going to then slaughter the boss. So just keep stealing and then throwing potions as and when they are needed. So you should be able to get 2 steals off in a row before having to use a potion. So you can get the ether, which is a bonus, although we're not too worried about that. What we're actually trying to steal is the Mythril Dagger, which is a rare item, unfortunately. Now, if you don't steal it, the Mythril Dagger that is, by the time that Zidane's trance bar has filled up, then you will need to restart this encounter and then try again until you do steal it. So this is my first attempt on this boss. And we do manage to get that Mythril Dagger on this attempt, which is good, so I don't have to restart. Hopefully you will as well. And the most ideal situation to be in is that you steal the Mythril Dagger, steal the ether, and then still have time to heal up to full, ready to unleash 2 attacks once Zidane's trance bar has filled up. So there's the Mythril Dagger. And since his trance hasn't yet filled, we are going to go ahead here and start healing up. And it is pointless attacking him at the moment, because we're still going to have to hit him twice anyway, once the trance is filled. So I'm just going to play a little bit on the defensive here. And because that trance bar hasn't filled up, I am actually going to use another potion here. And then that should be enough then. The next hit should put us into trance mode. At which point what we're going to do is use a normal physical attack to begin with, and then follow that up with the dying attack known as Tidal Flame, and that should be enough to finish off this battle. So we'll start with that normal physical attack here, just go to the trance animation first. Honestly guys, if you follow this routine exactly as I've shown you, then I can't see you failing this, to be honest. So after that normal physical attack, we're going to head over to Dying and use the Tidal Flame and this will end the battle now. And after we've done this, we'll just spam through the congratulations screen, collect our gil, items and AP, and then we'll have another couple of cutscenes before heading back over to the previous Moogle to save. Right, so there we are, back in control again. And just bear in mind that you can have random enemy encounters once more, going back to the Moogle here. Although it is only one screen across. And now we're going to save once more. And that'll bring us to the end of D1-06. Okay, so I'm just going to show you my time and whatnot so that you can stay on track with your own playthrough. There we are, 1 hour and 2 minutes and 35 seconds or thereabouts. So we've actually crossed over our first hour mark. Whoopsie-doo-dah. Only about 11 to go before we get Excalibur. Also, you can see my gil total there. Once more, you should have exactly the same amount of gil, right down to the individual units there. If you've been following along precisely, there's been no random amounts of gil collected up until this point. And that pretty much brings us to the end then, guys. So thanks for stopping by today. If you're enjoying watching and you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification to be notified of when future episodes go live. But that's it for me for today, so I'm going to go and get a drink, and I'll be back with you soon for more Final Fantasy IX.